So here are the top 5 Air Jordan sneakers of 2024, and it could easily be in a top 10 or even a top 15. But I kind of like to do these types of, especially like with the brands, to try and keep them to sort of top 5s. And it's sneakers that I've kind of kept. And I think, some people say, Jordan brand probably haven't had a strong year, but I just feel like they're just out of, I suppose, fashion at the moment. Not to say the sneakers aren't nice, and I do love the retro models, especially, the Jordan 1, 3, 4s, and the 7s and the 14s, so in particular. And I really love those silhouettes, and I think for me, it was one of those years where I've managed to grab pairs which I normally wouldn't be able to for retail, really. So I feel like it's been a pretty strong year for them, and still at the end of the day, I don't know how excited you can be for the same sort of silhouettes that I've been releasing for the last sort of 20, 30, 40 years. But they're classics at the end of the day, and it's similar to buying like an Air Max 1 or an Air Max 90 or an Air Max Plus. You get what you get. And if you're a fan of like those OG colorways and when they originally came out, and you couldn't afford them, or they just weren't attainable at the time, and a lot of the Jordan sneakers, for instance, in the sort of UK and Europe, didn't actually release over here. So for me, it's quite nice to sort of be able to grab pairs for retail, really, which I think all of the pairs that I see in front of me I managed to get for retail. And it's one of those things that I'm a sort of smaller size anyway, so it's which is a good thing. So the first one up is the Jordan 4 Black Reimagined, Black Cement Reimagined. And the reason why this is number 5, it was quite close, really, because obviously I was going to put the military blues, because they did release after a long while the military blues, and people obviously didn't like the colorway and that kind of stuff, but when you put them on feet, I just think they're really nice, and they were really cool, and just nice to sort of have white colorways, which I'm more of a fan of personally. And what I've sort of seen ironically here is a lot of these sneakers have got more of a darker tone in terms of the colorway, which I normally don't gravitate towards, but maybe it's changing for me personally. But this particular pair, the reason why it's number 5 is, and what you'll see the common theme for the Jordan sneakers is the overall quality of it. I think the shape is really nice, and I kind of like the way they've made these Jordan 4s, where they're slightly more mid top looking, and have I suppose more of a sleeker look in terms of the toe box, and then going up to being more of a, like I said, mid to high trainer, which is what they were always intended to be, I suppose. And this one took cues from the SB version as well, not in terms of like the comfort. It's still very much a Jordan 4 at the end of the day in terms of its midsole and outsole. However, what I will say is the leather quality on here is not like completely exceptional, but I like the fact that they changed it up from nubuck to leather, and I think they've done the Reimagined in the right way. They kept the sneaker the same, but the only thing that's changed on here is the materials, and some would argue this is better than the nubuck, which I agree, but the OG side of me is obviously saying you'd go with the nubuck. But this one in particular is more hard wearing, and I feel like it's quite sort of soft as well, and I didn't get any kind of pressure points, which I normally do on the Jordan 4, especially around the pinky toe area. But I think the shape, because it's slightly different, and also the materials that have been used in this, make it a really good one to sort of wear. Sadly I haven't worn these just yet, but I will be putting them on feet very soon. But another cool sneaker, especially sort of for the autumn winter time, because of the dark colorway. And then the next up is the Jordan 14. I've been waiting for these to come out for so long, and normally they're quite sort of limited in numbers, Jordan 14s. Sometimes they don't even release here in the UK and EU. So the Jordan 14 greys being one of them, and they're going for quite high in terms of resale now. And I wasn't so keen on those grey ones in particular, but the more I looked at them, the more they kind of started to appeal to me. And I think with the Jordan 14s, they're doing them justice, because they're limited in numbers, but also the quality of them seems to be pretty good on them. And this one, again, being an iconic colorway, doesn't come out too often, and being an all over sort of white sneaker, I'm sort of really drawn to it. And I just like their sort of Ferrari racing kind of influence on these as well, and they sit more lower to the ground compared to other Jordans. But I just really like the colorway, and I like this pebbled leather look. I'm not sure how that would age, but it's just a very clean and very well done sneaker in my opinion as well. So especially if you're a Jordan 14 head. I've got a few Jordan 14s, but this one is sort of top of my list of one that I wouldn't really sell and get rid of. It's definitely one that I'll be keeping for a long time. And then next up we've got the Airship. I put these above the other two. The reason being is the Airship has been pretty much a failure, I suppose, for Jordan brand, but What I will say, this collab, I think they did it justice. The booklet is like a dual collab of, you know, the normal booklet that you'd get in the GR version of the Airship, and it's got all those sort of details in it, but also, you know, Awake New York explained, you know, why they've used like this embroidery here and the crocodile skin and that kind of stuff, and also the tech around it. But what I also like is the leather quality on this. It's especially for the price that you can buy them for. I mean, I got these under retail, near enough half price, and so if you can pick them up for that much, they're definitely worth it. And you get like a little sticker sheet as well, and you get like a Jordan steel keychain as well. And so for that reason, you know, I think they're just a really cool looking sneaker as well, and probably the best Airship to release overall, in my opinion. And you know, if you're looking for like a GR sort of more OG kind of version, you can go for like the grey colorway. This one, however, being a collab, you know, the only thing that I'd probably say that I'm not a fan of is the crocodile skin on the collar here, but it doesn't affect the trainer too much. But like I said, the overall quality and how they've done the collab, I think it's just done really well. And I also like the gun outsole as well. And then next up, we've got the Jordan 3 J Balvins. This particular pair I got for retail, which I was really glad to. They didn't feel like they were that limited and not going for too much on the resale market. You know, still above retail. However, I think, you know, they're judging from the Medellin pair, I think these will jump up as well in terms of price over the next sort of couple of years. And I think, you know, again, I'm not attracted to black sneakers that much, but this one just works in my opinion because of the fact that you got these different multi-colors on there. I think that's why it works. And if I'm honest, when I originally saw these, you know, and saw the photos of them, I wasn't that impressed. But when you get them in hand, you can sort of see what they're about. And I like the fact that they look a bit sort of understated and sort of too in your face. And the only part that is, you know, really kind of funky is the back and the heel. And so for that reason, I think it works. And also the quality of the leather is really sort of soft. I don't know, you know, I haven't had the Armand Manier Jordan 3s, and I didn't buy those because I've got these. But for me, you know, the leather quality on this is really nice and really soft in my opinion. It's tumbled, but it's still very good quality. So overall, you know, it's a very nice sneaker, and I think very well executed in my eyes. So another good sort of collab from Jordan Brand and J Balvin. And this one's probably maybe an unpopular opinion, but I put the Nigel Sylvester version of the Jordan 4 RM #1. Reason being is I started wearing this pair a lot, and I kind of get what the sneaker's about. Obviously, it's got the bike hair on the back, and if I'm, you know, when I'm sort of out and about and I've got these on, I do, you know, it does sort of turn heads. And you probably think, no, it wouldn't, but it does sort of turn heads. And I think for me, it's one of those sneakers that it just works. The materials are really nice on there. You know, it's a really good price that you can pick them up, especially on the resale market now as well. They're pretty much sort of flunked, but getting them on feet, you know, in hand, you know, I can sort of see what they're about. Like I said, materials are really nice on there. The shape is really nice. The look is really nice. They're not the lightest sneakers, but if you compare it to sort of other Jordan sneakers, they feel quite sort of lightweight, and also just sort of easy to wear because they've got that low cut. And I actually like the way they look as well. So that's the reason why it's #1. And, you know, they're coming in at an affordable price. And I think Nigel Sylvester did his business on this, and I think it works well. And that's why, you know, I put it at #1. So, you know, probably a bit kind of controversial maybe. But for me, like I said, it's all about sort of wearability. And I just instantly want to sort of put these sneakers on foot, really. And so, yeah, it's definitely worth grabbing a pair. And I also like the mini swoosh. So, but if you can find a pair for a good price, you know, it's definitely worth picking up and giving them a try. Obviously, the GR versions aren't as nice as this Nigel Sylvester collab. And, you know, I would personally also say, you know, I wouldn't pick up a GR version. You know, I'd pick up the Nigel Sylvester collab. So, yeah, definitely worth giving a try. And probably, like I said, controversial, but for me, it's one of those sneakers that works. And I think it's a nice sort of direction going towards the future of what Jordan Brand should be doing. And I think they should be releasing more of these types of Jordan 4 RMs versus the GR versions that we've seen.